fear, cause I doubt who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the source. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight or run, we gon' fight. If it is really Ephesians 6 and 12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace, so yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on. Cause our vision is near, even though it's a war going on. Gotta keep marching on, this is for my peers. Either have the ear here. It's time to go home, for real.
Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. It's too late now. All praise to Yahweh, the Most High, our Elohim. Yeah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. On a mission to snatch my people straight about that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean, that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yahshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as dove, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen, what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 31:21, the ship's on the way, crossing the Jordan, still waters, we want no trouble that day. Matthew 7:13, enter through the straight gates, broad is the path of destruction, but narrow is the way. Jeremiah 31, for the new covenant we shall wait. Hebrews 8, yeah, Hebrews 8, for the new covenant we shall wait. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Elohim, praise Yah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father.
Started from the bottom, now we heal. You already know what it is. Giving praise to the God of Israel. Yeah, the truth has been revealed. Even though a lot of masses live, the whole world has been deceived for real. Read Revelation chapter 12. Time will tell who will prevail 400 year captivity. But we coming out of here. Prophecy been fulfilled. Gotta live righteously. Yeah, we'll see who is real and who will appear out. Cause of fear, cause of doubt. Who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the source. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight or run, we gon' fight. If it is really Ephesians 6 and 12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace, so yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on, cause our vision is near. Even though it's a war going on, gotta keep marching on. This is for my peers. Either have the ear here. It's time to go home, for real.
Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to reach the Father. It's too late now. All praise to Yahweh, the Most High, our Elohim. Yeah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yahshua, the only way to that reached the fall. Yeah, we chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but yeah, we still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube. Welcome to our history class. Today we're in 2 Kings chapter 8. But before we get started, does anyone have any questions?
I do. Back to prophecy class, we was talking about them 7 years. My mind ain't clicking on something, I'm trying to figure out like, I'm trying to figure out, my mind ain't, I guess I didn't get it with the destruction of America and the first 3 years. I'm trying to get a picture in my mind how that's going. Like God knows there's no time frame, but how to try to get a better idea of how that's gonna go. Because I know in them second 3.5 years we'll be in the wilderness, America gone. But the first 3.5 years of that 7 years, how does that play with destruction of America?
With the Muslims?
No, destruction of America.
Oh. Well, we're looking at the 3.5 years of Great Tribulation as part of the second half of that final week. But prior to that, America will still be up. But it won't be in the form that it's in now, because it'll be going, what you see what's going on now, it's not gonna get worse. So the covenant made with Palestinians and the Edomites is not necessarily going to be broadcast. And maybe at some point when they're ready for it, because it's politics, so they want the Pope to look as good as he can. So they may hold off. And this is a speculation on my part. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it's a scenario where the Pope can show the people that he's a great man. He finally brought peace to Palestinians and the Edomites. Right now, as far as we know, he might be working on that now.
Right.
Yeah. So we fire won't kick in until we get up out of here, and that one world order set up. The Moab and the chief of the Church of the Ramah will be guaranteed safety. Right. Going to Daniel chapter 11.
Okay, so like if, with let's say for instance, like with the war with Iran, if that war with Iran kicks up and the way they bumming, that puts the Palestinians in a little bit of threat. Could that cause them with the Pope to come in because of the situation with Iran to make that deal, you think?
But was Iran part in all of that?
I mean, I feel because they bumming, you know what I mean? So it might get to a point where they bumming so much of Israel, it doesn't, Palestinians like this our land too, you know what I mean? So we have to come together to protect our land, our interest in this land, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but their days is numbered too.
Iran day is number 2, so that's
not Iran. Now, Iran is going to be part of the destruction of America,
okay.
along with Russia. America might bomb the hell out of Iran, but she already got her people over here. So it's just a matter of getting the green light. All of America's enemies are here. You got the Chinese here, and people from South America, all of them military age. So they're here for a purpose. So when the time comes, they're gonna get the green light and they start blowing stuff up around here, catching everybody off guard. Now again, if Trump bombs Iran right now, that would give them more a desire for payback. So now the iron's in the fire now with Iran, because they're not going to turn back until they get revenge. Yeah.
So that first 3.5 years, in part during that time, could be destruction of America.
Yeah, we're looking at what we're looking at now.
Right.
A lot of confusion in the earth, and you're really not getting the truth from the news.
Right.
So you got to hunt it down on the internet. Maybe somebody makes some sense. So for them to bring peace between Moab and Ammon, Esau controls the media. So if he don't want that broadcast, he ain't gonna let it be broadcast.
Right. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Because I know a lot of white Christians is looking for that. That's one of the signs they've been looking for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking at a lot of things, a lot of irons in the fire, and Esau has inordinate control over America, control over this president, and so he's orchestrating all this. I'm thinking that not that the Pope is going to be he's going to say he's God, right? So that's even going to be more impressive to the people. Not only did he bring peace to the Middle East, but now he got the power of a God. Yeah.
So with that 7 years situation, the first 3.5 years, it looks like maybe Trump might get a couple more years to work his ones and twos. You think?
Well, the figure is pretty solid. So we can look at it at some point. The covenant will be made, and then 3.5 years later, it'll be broken. And so at that point, that's when you get 3.5 years of great tribulation.
And we haven't been in the wilderness at that point.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got, like I said, as far as you know, it's already been signed. Peace treaty has been signed, and it's just the only thing lacking is a ceremony, so everybody can see that hey, the Palestinians and the Yiddish-speaking people are finally getting along. Yeah.
I was trying to get them in my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of murky about that first 3.5 years. What's going to really happen for him to want to break the covenant?
Right.
Because that will be the covenant that he made with Moab and Ammon and the Israelis. So what would that mean though when he breaks his covenant? Just in 3.5 years he breaks the covenant. What does that mean? That means that there is no more peace treaty between Moab and Ammon and Esau.
It gotta be like some extra to that, like a third party to it, where it get like kind of like maybe attack both sides or something. Gotta be something extra to it. You know what I'm saying?
Who could it be? That's what I'm saying. The covenant got to be made, and it's just speculation when it's going to start and when it's going to stop. But we know when it's going to stop. That's when all hell breaks loose. When the covenant is broken. So, if the covenant is broken, then Moab and Ammon and Esau won't be at peace anymore. So, but that doesn't have anything to do with us. Yeah, because they're gonna be in the land still fighting each other. But for us, they don't see us coming. All they know is somehow all them black people disappeared. But one of the reasons they're gonna think that is because all the power gonna be out by that time, and they won't be able to find us. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good.
That good? Yeah, that's about the best I can do, man.
I got you,
Until Yahweh show me something else. Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Yes, sir.
After the 3.5 years, what would we be doing?
So what we've been doing
Yeah.
for 3.5 years?
Yeah, after 3.5 years.
After the 3.5 years?
Yes.
We should be in the wilderness by then and stay in that wilderness 3.5 years. Yeah, so the first 3.5 years we won't be there. We'll still be here more than likely. So once the covenant, the 3.5 years is up, because it's a 7-year covenant, right? So in the middle of that 7 years, it's 3.5 years. So the first 3.5 years, they got the peace covenant going, but somehow the covenant gonna be broken, and then you're gonna have 3.5 years of great tribulation. So that's for the rest of the nations, but as far as us, our 3.5 years would be in the wilderness, Yahweh willing. So that's what I'm talking about the timeline. If you notice, the most common number in the Bible is 7. And you can break that down to 3.5. You got time and times and half a time in Daniel, and all through Revelation. 1,260 days, 42 months, all in forms of 3.5 years. So that's another common figure in the Bible. You got 40. It's common. So some of the numbers are very common in the Bible that reappear all the time. And so I don't know if they meant it to be that way. But what I do know is that at the time my father wrote the scriptures, they didn't write them in chapters and verses, in books. It was on scrolls. So it didn't look nothing like this. Yeah. So I don't know, the mind was keyed in on a timeline, like we got our mind keyed in on. We look at days and months and years, and hours and minutes and seconds. But they didn't look at time like that. Yeah. The day began when the cock crew. So they estimate that to be about 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So they didn't have watches back in the days. But they did have the sundial. Just how they kept up with the seasons and the days of the year with that sundial. Because they know that when the sun is the hottest, the shadow of that dial is at a certain angle. When it started going down, that angle changed around the sundial. So they got a better idea of what time of day it was. Yeah. That was the highest technology they had back in those days, but nevertheless, we're looking at, you know what, I don't even think America's gonna be here when they make that treaty, that covenant. Because Daniel doesn't mention Babylon, except for Nebuchadnezzar Babylon.
So it could be a possibility we'd be traveling during that time?
For the first 3.5 years of the second.
Parts of that time we'd be traveling?
I'm looking at, yeah, we'll be traveling before he breaks that covenant. We should be on our way out of here. Yeah. Now, what's going to get us out of here? I don't know. Maybe war, a break out, we have civil war, and they have to install martial law. So there's some got to get us to move up, get up out of here, right? So we already got the prophecies telling people you got to get out of America. So I think you got folks leaving now, but the one that need to leave is black people. And they don't know.
Some say they're not gonna leave. Crazy.
Well, when you look at my TikTok account, you got some folk that check out our stuff, and I'll be talking about we gonna have to leave America. They say, no, I'm not leaving. Yeah, it's my home. They said I was born here. America used to be the black man's land. You got a whole bunch of folk out there got crazy ideas. How come it ain't now?
My partner called out. You heard this? This used to be Egypt. I just had to hang up on him. Like, don't call my phone. I wish you grab it. We hit it. I don't know. You think you know everything? Then you never do Egypt. I'm like, man, get out of here with that nonsense, man. It's just like it's just spreading, man. They have nothing else better to do with themselves. If they would read a book, maybe they read the Bible at least. But how is this Egypt? I mean, where you get that? How could you fall for that? Like, well, our people falling for it, but you don't see the white people don't want to talk about that. It's just our people. Like, they falling for it left and right. It's crazy.
Right. So, what I want to ask, so I can't remember exactly where it was written when they said, when they say peace, there shall be total destruction. So that's going to be along that line of the 3.5 years too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we just got little hints here and there. We're trying to put those hints together. and put a timeline on it that we can understand. But y'all are gonna do things when they want to do them. Yeah. And how you want to do them? Because, like I say, we got blocks of time with Daniel saying that you give a figure of 1,290 days and 1,340 days or 50 days, something like that. So that goes a little bit beyond the 3.5 years. Right, so where you gonna get that extra time? At what point do you put that extra time in there? Right, so I took it to mean that that's how much time it's gonna take us to get up out of here. So we're looking at 40 to 60 million black people in this bad boy, and they all got to get up out of here. Everybody got to leave. So I'm looking at that's 3.5 months, and so that might be it. I'm not sure. But Daniel's prophecy is a little strange with all those different days. We got to 1,260. So we had to do something with the rest of those days. Those extra days over. Yeah. That it?
That's it.
Okay. All right then. Again, we are in. Did I get that for you, Ella?
Yeah, you did it.
Okay. We are in 2 Kings chapter 8. Then spake Elisha unto the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, Arise and go thou and thine household, and sojourn whatsoever thou canst sojourn. For Yahweh hath called for a famine, and it shall also come upon the land 7 years. And the woman arose and did after the saying of the man of Elohim, and she went with her household, and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. Now we know there's always animosity between the Philistines and the children of Israel. But it wasn't to the point where Israelites couldn't dwell among the Philistines for some reason. And you look at, for instance, Moab. Well, we weren't supposed to mingle with them either, but Boaz married Ruth the Moabites. So it wasn't just continual hatred between the nations, like the book kind of makes us think that it are. There's always warfare between the Israelites and the Philistines, and everybody else is at war with one another at some point. But here we got a man, a woman going to dwell among the enemies of the children of Israel. So I guess it was all right. You look at, let's see here. Yeah, with Ruth, her and her husband, Naomi and her husband, her 2 boys, they went and dwelt in Moab. But only Ruth and Naomi came back. But they didn't seem to have an issue with Ruth. Boaz, he liked her right away. So one of the things where, again, continuous animosity. Say, for instance, you go and buy a house in a sundown town. You ain't gonna have no peace, right? Well, it wasn't like that here. It wasn't continual hatred. Yeah, you can move in and move out of your house. It's somebody else's land. Yeah. Let's continue. 2 Kings 8, verse 3. And it came to pass at the 7 years end that the woman returned out of the land of the Philistines, and she went forth to cry unto the king for her house and for her land. And the king talked with Gehazi, the servant of the man of Elohim, saying, Tell me, I pray thee, all the great things that Elisha have done. And it came to pass, as he was telling the king how he had restored a dead body to life, that behold, the woman whose son he had restored to life cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, My master, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life. And when the king asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed unto her a certain captain, a certain officer, saying, Restore all that was hers, and all the fruits of the field since the day that she left the land, even until now. Yeah.
I wonder, at this point, is Gehazi a leper? 'Cause why would he be in front of the king if he's a leper at this point? You know, I think that Elisha put leprosy upon him.
Yeah, that was in 2 Kings chapter 5. Let me see if that date's up there. Uh, 895 as opposed to 892, so he's at 895 he's a leper. So 892 he's still a leper.
So why would he be? Why would the king have a leper in front of him? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
he's telling him about the prophet Elisha,
okay.
and so anybody would know about that. That would be Gehazi. Now I'm pretty sure he stayed away from him, stayed at arm's length, but he could still talk to him. Yeah. Verse 2 Kings 8 verse 7. And Elisha came to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, was sick. And it was told him, saying, The man of Elohim is come hither. And the king said unto Hazael, Take a present in thine hand, and go, meet the man of Elohim, and inquire of Yahweh by him, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? Now this is the king of Syria. Check that out. Verse 10. And Elisha said unto him, Go, say unto him, Thou mayest certainly recover, albeit Yahweh hath showed me that he shall surely die. And he settled his countenance steadfastly until he was ashamed, and the man of Elohim wept. And Hazael said, Why weepeth my master? He answered, Because I know the evil that you will do unto the children of Israel. Their strongholds wilt thou set on fire, and their young men wilt thou slay with the sword, and wilt dash their children, and rip up their women with child. And Hazael said, But what is thy servant a dog, that he should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, Yahweh hath showed me that thou wilt be king over Syria. So he departed from Elisha, and came to his master, who said to him, What said Elisha to thee? And he answered, He told me that thou shouldst surely recover. And it came to pass on the morrow that he took a thick cloth, and dipped it in water, and spread it on his face, so that he died. And Hazael reigned in his stead. What?
What I just read, different, cloth. I just had it in my mind about what I just read.
What did you read? How do you read this?
On verse 15.
Yeah, but what was that putting the cloth on his face? What does that tell you?
I don't understand. I see in my mind. It just.
Well, what's in
He
your
says he's
mind?
gonna get. He says he's gonna die.
No, he said you don't live. He said you shall surely recover.
So that he died.
Yeah.
Oh, I read it wrong. Okay.
Huh?
I read it wrong.
Up in verse 10, he said he was going to die anyway.
Yeah.
But he didn't say how he was going to die.
Right.
And so looking at Hazael putting that wet cloth on him, probably suffocated him. Who saw it? Because he was already sick.
See, I didn't want to think that. See,
Yeah, I guess so. That's the way things were done back in the day, bro. People thought you died from sickness. Somebody murdered you. For 2 Kings 8, verse 16. And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being then king of Yehuda, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. Now, there are some places in here that the word or the name Jehoram is spelled Joram, just like the king of Israel. Well, the king of Judah, Jehoram, is called Joram too. So I find that kind of interesting that you got a couple of kings got the same name. I think it happens again somewhere else in the history books. Verse 17. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab. For the daughter of Ahab was his wife. And he did evil in the sight of Yahweh. Yet Yahweh would not destroy Judah for David his servant's sake, as he promised him to give him always a light and to his children. Now, this is Jehoshaphat boy, and he married the daughter of Jezebel. Now, he's the king of Judah. And he ain't that much brighter than his daddy.
No. That was a big mistake.
So we got a history right here. Verse 20. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. So Joram went over to Zerah and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Joram slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in his city of David, and Ahaziah his son reigned in his stead. And the 12th year of Joram, son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, began to reign. 22 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of Yahweh, as did the house of Ahab, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. And he went with Joram, the son of Ahab, to the war against Hazael, king of Syria, in Ramoth Gilead, and the Syrians wounded Joram. And King Joram went back to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramoth, when he fought against Hazael, king of Syria. And Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Joram, the son of Ahab, in Jezreel, because he was sick. And Elisha the prophet called one of the children of the prophets, and said unto him, Gird up thy loins, and take this box of oil in thine hand, and go to Ramoth Gilead. And when thou comest thither, look out there Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and make him arise up from among his brethren, and carry him to an inner chamber. Then take the box of oil, and pour it on his head, and say, Thus saith Yahweh, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then open the door, and flee, and tarry not. So the young man, even a young man the prophet, went to Ramoth Gilead. And when he came, behold, the captains of the host were sitting, and he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Jehu said, Unto which of us, of all of us? And he said, To thee, O captain. And he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim of Israel, I have anointed thee king over the people of Yahweh, even over Israel. And thou shalt smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of Yahweh, at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish And I will cut off from Ahab him that pisses against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahiah. And a dog shall eat Jezebel in the portion of Jezreel, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. Then Jehu came forth to the servants of his master, and one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to thee? And he said unto them, You know the man and his communication. And they said, It is false. Tell us now. And he said, Thus and thus spake he to me, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then they hasted and took every man his garment and put it under him on the top of the stairs, and blew with trumpets, saying, Jehu is king. So Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Now Joram had kept Ramoth Gilead, he and all Israel, because of Hazael, king of Syria. The king Joram was returned to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him. When he fought with Hazael, king of Syria, and Jehu said, If it be your minds, then let none go forth, nor escape out of the city to go to tell it in Jezreel. So Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, but Joram lay there, and Ahaziah, king of Jehudah, was come down to see Joram. And there stood a watchman on the tower of Jezreel, and he spied the company of Jehu as he came, and said, I see a company. And Joram said, Take a horseman and send to meet them, and let him say, Is it peace? So there went one on horseback to meet him, and said, Thus said the king, Is it peace? And Jehu said, What hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, The messenger came to them, but he cometh not again. Then he sent out a second on horseback, which came to him, and said, Thus saith the king, Is it peace? And Jehu answered, What hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, He came even unto them, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu the son of Nimshi, for he driveth furiously. They must have heard Jehu didn't have no sense. And Joram said, Make ready. And his chariot was made ready. And Joram, king of Israel, and Ahaziah, king of Jehudah, went out, each in his chariot. And they went out against Jehu, and met him in the portion of Naboth the Jezreelite. And it came to pass, when Joram saw Jehu, that he said, Is it peace, Jehu? And he answered, What peace, so long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so many? So she practiced witchcraft. And Joram turned his hands and fled, and said to Ahaziah, There is treason, there is treachery, O Ahaziah. And Jehu drew a bow with his full strength, and smote Jehoram between his arms, and the arrow went out at his heart, and he sunk down in his chariot. Then said Jehu to Bidkar, his captain, Take up and cast him in the portion of the field of Naboth the Jezreelite. But remember how that when I and thou rode together after Ahab his father, Yahweh laid this burden upon him. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, saith Yahweh, and I will requite thee in this plat, saith Yahweh. Now therefore take and cast him into the plat of ground according to the word of Yahweh. And when Ahaziah, the king of Jehudah, saw this, he fled by the way of the garden house. And Jehu followed after him and said, Smite him also in the chariot. And they did so at the going up to Gur, which is about Eblim, and he fled to Megiddo and died there. And the servants carried him in a chariot to Jerusalem and buried him in his sepulchre with his father in the city of David. And in the 11th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, began Ahaziah to reign over Judah. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tied her head and looked out at a window. See how far back makeup goes? That's in 884 BC. Verse 31. And as Jehu entered in at the gate, she said, had Zimri peace, who slew his master? And he looked up, and he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. And he said, throw her down. So they threw her down. And some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trod her underfoot. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink, and said, go, see now this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull, and the feet, and the palms of her hands. Wherefore they came again and told him, and he said, this is the word of Yahweh, which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in a portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, of the field, in a portion of Jezreel, so that they shall not say, this is Jezebel. I was going to say something about this particular passage. Life is kind of hard back in them days, but nevertheless, they had to go down there for Jezebel because of what she did to Naboth. And Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria, and Jehu wrote letters and sent to Samaria unto the rulers of Jezreel, to the elders, and to them brought up Ahab's children, saying, now as soon as this letter cometh to you, send your master's son with you, and there are with you chariots and horses, a fenced city also in armor. Look even out the best and meanest of your master's son, and set him on his father's throne, and fight for your master's house. And they were exceedingly afraid, and said, behold, 2 kings stood not before him, how then shall we be stand? And he that was over the house, and he that was over the city, the elders also, and the bringers up of the children, sent to Jehu, saying, we are thy servants, and will do all that thou shalt bid us. We will not make any king. Do thou that which is good in thine heart. Then he wrote a letter the second time to them, saying, if you be mine, and if you will hearken unto my voice, take ye the heads of the men, your master's sons, and come to me to Jezreel by tomorrow, this time. Now the king's sons, being 70 persons, were with the great men of the city, which brought them up. And it came to pass, when the letter came to them, that they took the king's sons and slew 70 persons, and put their heads in baskets, and sent them to Jezreel. Now, they raised these boys. The people of the city, they raised these boys. And how quick they turned on them. Chop their heads off. Well, it's a matter of self-preservation, because they knew what Jehu was doing out there. He already killed 2 kings, so now, I'm sorry, y'all got to go. So I'm sorry, you Ahab's son, but y'all said y'all was going to destroy your seed. Well, the same thing happened with not Ahab. Joab. Joab was chasing somebody. I think it was one of Saul's captains. And when he got into the city, there's an old lady that asked him, don't kill us. You remember that? Yeah, so they you got a unstoppable force, and all of a sudden it stops because of a woman or because of somebody's action trying to self-preserve themselves. So you got to ask yourself, what would you do in that predicament? With somebody like Jehu coming up on up your street, and he say, "Send me the heads of my enemies," and you don't raise them up. Are you gonna feel bad about it?
Yeah, I feel bad about it. You finish, you raise them up, but you gotta do, like I say, it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
You feel bad
Either
about it, but you gotta live.
either you or them.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I'm saying everybody being dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine it was a surprise to these boys that they killing them, 70 of them. You wonder, that's a bunch of folk when you look right at it. Why didn't they try to get away? They're grown, but that's a mystery, because if I saw 2 or 3 of my brother getting beheaded, I'm not sticking around. So there's not something wrong with this picture. So, well, look at the Gideon boys. They killed all 7 of them on a rock. Do you mean to tell me they was just standing there getting killed? So yeah, well, I tell you, that wouldn't happen today.
No.
Yeah, so Jake would take off running and try to hide. Don't trust nobody. Just keep on moving. Let's see, what was I at? Oh yeah. Verse 9. 2 Kings 10, verse 9. And it came to pass in the morning that he went out and stood and said to all the people, "You be righteous. Behold, I conspired against my master and slew him, but who slew all these? Know now that there shall fall unto the earth nothing of the word of Yahweh, which Yahweh spake concerning the house of Ahab. For Yahweh have done that which he spake by his servant Elijah." So Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel, and all his great men and his kinfolks and his priests, until he left none remaining. And he arose and departed and came to Samaria, and as he was at the shearing house in the way, you got to wonder, the people that Jehu was killing, did they know why they were being killed? Because it's a lot of folk with different roles to play, different positions in the field. You got priests, you got other folk, you got the Ahab boys, and you got the kinsmen of Ahab, and Jehu killing them all. They got to wonder, why is he killing us?
I think the word got out that he's gonna be the king, so he said probably out he clean the house.
Yeah, you got a point there, because I remember when Absalom jacked the kingdom from David. He knew he had to get out of town, because that boy gonna come and kill him. Yeah, so yeah, that was a good reason there. With Jehu acting like a crazy man, and ain't taking no prisoners. Yeah. Verse 13. Jehu met with the brethren of Ahaziah, king of Judah, and said, "Who are you?" And they answered, "We are the brethren of Ahaziah, and we go down to salute the children of the king and the children of the queen." And he said, "Take them alive." And they took them alive, and slew them at the pit of the shearing house, even 42 men. Neither left any of them, but Again, you got 40 men. You mean 10 of them couldn't get away? At least 5 just take off running because they ran now. Keep that in mind. They was in shape. They could have took off running and just don't look back. Verse 15. And when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him. And he saluted him and said to him, Is thine heart right as my heart is with thy heart? And Jonadab answered, It is. If it be, give me thine hand. And he gave him his hand, and he took him up to him into the chariot. Now, what did he expect him to say? Nah, I don't like know what you did. I said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with you. My heart just like yours. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Verse 16. And he said, Come with me and see my zeal for Yahweh. So they made him ride in his chariot. And when he came to Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab in Samaria, till he had destroyed him, according to the saying of Yahweh, which he spake to Elijah. And Jehu gathered all the people together, and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu will serve him much. Now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, and all his priests, that none be wanting. For I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal. And Jehu said, Proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal. And they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not. And they came unto the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. And he said unto him that was over the vestry, Bring forth vestments for all the worshippers of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. And Jehu went, and Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, into the house of Baal, and said unto the worshippers of Baal, Search and look that there be none that be here with you none of the servants of Yahweh, but the worshippers of Baal only. And when they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings, Jehu appointed 80 men without, and said, If any of the men whom I have brought into your hands escape, ye that letteth him go, his life shall be for the life of him. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said to the guard and to the captains, Go in and slay them, let none come forth. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and the guard and the captains cast them out, and went to the city of the house of Baal, and they brought him forth, and they brought forth the images out of the house of Baal, and burned them. And they break down the image of Baal, and break down the house of Baal, and made it a draught house unto this day. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Howbeit, from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel, and that were in Dan. And Yahweh said unto Jehu, Because that thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab, according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the 4th generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of Yahweh Elohim of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. In those days Yahweh began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in all the coasts of Israel, from Jordan eastward, in all the land of Gilead, the Gadites, the Reubenites, and the Manassites, from Aroer, which is by the river Arnon, even Gilead and Bashan. So you know where this is located, right? Look what it says here. In verse 32, it says, in those days Yahweh began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them to all the coasts of Israel, from Jordan eastward, all the land of Gilead, the Gadites and the Reubenites and the Manassites, from Aurora, which is by the river Arnon, even Gilead and Bashan. So, he went to Jordan, right?
Yeah, that's the land that Moses had gave the other three tribes.
Yeah, the 2.5 tribes.
2.5 tribes. That's it, 2.5 tribes.
No, you got Reuben, Gad,
And half tribe of Manasseh.
and half the tribe of Manasseh. Who else? I think it's one more.
That was it.
That's it? Just Reuben and Gad?
Reuben, Gad, and half tribe of Manasseh.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's where they are in these particular passages here. They're catching hell on that side. Yahweh gave them that land since they beat King of Bashan and Sihon, king of the Amorites. But it looks like they're losing it to Hazael. Yeah. Verse 34. Now the rest of the acts of Jehu and all that he did and all his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? And Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Jehoahaz, his son, reigned in his stead. And the time that Jehu reigned over Israel and Samaria was 28 years. Now when Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal. But Yehosheba, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Ahaziah, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain, and they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. And he was with her, hid in the house of Yahweh 6 years, and Athaliah did reign over the land. Now, they didn't tell us how this woman reigned over Israel. Now, she made herself a queen. And, but I'm thinking that she's so angry about her son dying, but she's taking her anger out on the children of Israel. Right. Now, by right, Ahaziah's son should reign in his stead, but you see, he's just a baby, and then his grandmother nutted up, killing all the royal seed. So he had other sons, but she killed them all off. I mean, I know grief is one thing, but you're grieving over the death of your son, but why are you killing off his children? So she must have lost her mind when she did that, and so everybody was scared of her. Verse 4, and the 7th year Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over hundreds with the captains and the guard, and brought them to him into the house of Yahweh, and made a covenant with them, and took an oath of them in the house of Yahweh, and showed them the king's son. And he commanded them, saying, this is the thing that you shall do. A third part of you that enter in on the Sabbath shall even be keepers of the watch of the king's house. And a third part shall be at the gate of Sur, and a third part at the gate behind the guards. So shall you keep the watch of the house, and that it be not broken down. And 2 parts of all you that go forth on the Sabbath, even they shall keep the watch of the house of Yahweh about the king. And you shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapon in his hand, and he that cometh within the ranges, let him be slain. and be you with the king as he goeth out and as he cometh in. I was trying to find out what that word ranges mean. I think it means,
I got ranks, yo.
you got what?
Ranks
I got it, got it too, but it doesn't add up, doesn't make any sense.
to go in there.
Yeah, but I got also referenced verse 20. It said beside the king's house, so that's what the ranges are. Yeah, that's what the ranges beside the king's house.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, these are translators' words, so you know we just don't talk like that no more. But yeah, the white folks knew they had to do something, so they came up with the Strong's Concordance. I mean, they got concordance in the back of your Bible, but not as thorough as that Strong's Concordance. Verse 17. And Jehoiada made a covenant between Yahweh and the king and the people that they should be the Yahweh's people between the king also and the people. And all the people of the land went into the house of Baal and break it down, its altars and its images break they in pieces thoroughly, and slew Mattan, the priest of Baal, before the altars, and the priest appointed officers over the house of Yahweh. So I mean, when you read the prophets, they complain all the time about Judah and Israel worshiping other gods. And so now we see them doing it here. They had to destroy all the house of Baal while they were in the land of Judah. Now we know about Jehu destroying the Baal worshippers in Israel, but now you got Baal worshippers in Judah too. Yeah. And he took the rulers over hundreds and the captains and the guard and all the people of the land, and they brought down the king from the house of Yahweh and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of the kings. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet, and they slew Athaliah with the sword beside the king's house. 7 years old was Joash when he began to reign. 2 Kings 12 verse 1. In the 7th year of Jehu, Jehoash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh all his days, wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. But the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the dedicated things that is brought into the house of Yahweh, even the money of every one that passeth the count, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that cometh into any man's heart, to bring into the house of Yahweh, let the priest take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and let him repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found. And it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priest had not repaired the breaches of the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and the other priests, and said unto them, why repair you not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, and deliver it for the breaches of the house. And the priest consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar on the right side, as one cometh into the house of Yahweh. And the priest that kept that door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh. I think that's a strange place to put that. the altar's supposed to be holy. And you got money in a basket right next to the holy altar. But what about the money they collected before they put that basket out there? Whatever happened to it? Because they had a whole bunch of money. They supposed to repair the temple, and Gehazi asked him, "What y'all do with the money?"
Line in somebody's pocket.
You better believe it. Now Jehoiada, he's supposed to be a good priest, but apparently he can control his own men, so he had to put a basket outside the altar so people can drop money off into it. But yes, sometimes you have to read this thing very carefully to see, hey, these people ain't 100%. What, I mean, you in charge of the priest, why did you watch this? What happened to the money? Well, I imagine that King Jehoash was a little too young at the time, but if he had been an older man, he would have had him killed. Yeah. Let's continue. Verse 10. And it was so, when they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king's scribe and the high priest came up, and they put up in bags and told the money that was found in the house of Yahweh. And they gave the money, being told, into the hands of them that did the work, that had the oversight of the house of Yahweh, and they laid it out to the carpenters and the builders that wrought upon the house of Yahweh, and to masons and the hewers of stone, and to buy timber and hew stone to repair breaches of the house of Yahweh, and all that was laid out for the house to repair it. Howbeit there were not made for the house of Yahweh bowls of silver, snuffers, basins, trumpets, any vessels of gold, all vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh. But they gave that to the workmen, and repaired therewith the house of Yahweh. Moreover, they reckoned not with the men into whose hand they delivered the money to be bestowed on workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The trespass money and the sin money was not brought into the house of Yahweh, it was the priests. Then Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath, and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Jehoash, king of Yehudah, took all the hallowed things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah, his fathers, kings of Judah, had dedicated, and his own hallowed things, and all the gold that was found in the treasures, and the house of Yahweh, and in the king's house, and sent it to Hazael, king of Syria, and he went away from Jerusalem. He paid them off. Yeah, look at all the gold. Why are you coming up in here? Go on back home. And the rest of the acts of Joash and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And the servants arose and made a conspiracy, and slew Joash in the house of Millo, which goeth down to Silla. For Josachar, the son of Shimei, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomer, his servant, smote him, and he died, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Amaziah, his son, reigned in his stead. Let's see, Jehoash, okay. Now that was the son of, that was the son of grandson of Athaliah. And so he's trying to repair the house, but they didn't repair it. I don't know how long it took them for the prayer, but nevertheless, it finally got repaired. 2 Kings 13, verse 1. In the 23rd year of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 17 years. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He departed not therefrom. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael, king of Syria, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, all their days. And Jehoahaz besought Yahweh, and Yahweh hearkened unto him, and for he saw the oppression of Israel, because the king of Syria oppressed them. And Yahweh gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Syrians. And the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before time. Nevertheless, they departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who made Israel sin, but walked therein. And there remained the grove also in Samaria. Neither did he lead the people to Jehoahaz, but 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen for the king of Syria, and destroyed them, and had made them like the dust by threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz and all that he did and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son reigned in his stead. One of the things that caught my eye in this particular chapter is that you got some of the Israelites still dwelling in tents. Now you've been in there over 100 years, and you still dwelling in tents. Well, I imagine that they felt better dwelling in tents.
Probably move around a little bit more.
Yeah, like the Rechabites during the time of Jeremiah. They swore not to drink any wine or living in the city, but living in tents. And so that might be coming back. I don't know. I'm not a tent dweller. But I see they were dwelling in tents long after they settled the land. So I can't imagine bringing up a family on a tent. But I'm pretty sure it ain't like these army tents we got today. I'm pretty sure it's big, massive tents that hold a whole lot of
They
people.
got big tents now.
In the army, in the military.
I mean, they got big tents you can buy.
Well, yeah,
They got
I
big
mean,
tents, they got tents by the side of this room. We have meetings in. They got
Yeah.
They got lights on the top.
yeah, I've seen them,
Yeah.
but they don't dwell in them.
They got tents with stoves.
Yeah, no, I've seen them. Yeah, that was one year. I think there was in either Kuwait or somewhere in the Middle East. Somebody threw a hand grenade inside of one of them big tents. It was a brother. He was doing it for Allah. Well, I tell you, what we want to do next. You got black folks upset that Trump is deporting these people out of the country. Why are you upset? He's saving your job. Because they in here on their dime. So that 14th Amendment, that was just meant for us, not them. But that's how the excuse they use to stay in the country, the 14th Amendment. And Jake think they should stay too. Them folk don't even like Jake. Yeah, but you wanna fight for him. Now, how do you explain to people like that? You can't explain that. You can't explain that. That has no explanation. So I imagine that they just use them as fodder because the Somalians don't like them, and the South Americans don't like them, but they want to get out in the street and protest. I saw a girl. Remember that the other day when they shot that girl in Minnesota? Yeah, because they're trying to run over that ICE agent. It's a little black girl painting a picture of that woman, a portrait of her, like she admired her. She was married to another woman. What is that to admire? but they're not getting any information. They're not. I'm pretty sure that little girl watches news every night, and so they figure that's probably how she do it. The reason she carries herself that way. And a lot of black people get their news from the media, so the media tell them to hate this and love that. So what are you gonna do?
The TV is their brain.
Do what?
The TV is their brain.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But the only reason we can see it is because of this. Yahweh opened up this book to us, and we see what they're doing here is wrong. But other people, white folks especially, see it's wrong too. So, I mean, they just using common sense. But the book is our common sense here. So it's no, you ain't supposed to be involved with that type of thing. That's them people. This is the white man's problem. Leave white men alone. Stay out their business. They used to tell us that all the time, but now all of a sudden we got something to say. We got to put our 2 cents in. Well, I believe this, and I believe that. You believe Trump a crook. How you know? You chop it up with him sometime? He call you up? Say, hey, what's up, dog? No, you just going by what the TV say. So, it's a crying shame, man, but then Yahweh gave us something extra with this, man, this year. Keep that kind of deception away from me. Yeah. So we see the game they playing, man, and we don't want to be part of it. Wish we could talk Jake out of it, but that's all they got to do. Let's see, what was I at now? Verse 8. Okay. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz and all that he did and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son reigned in his stead. Now, is there such a thing as a book of Chronicles of the Kings of Israel and the Kings of Judah?
They calling it that, but it's just Chronicles. When I look at it, I just look at it as just Chronicles.
What happened to them?
I guess they put them together, not separate, but like they talk about just
These are separate books.
yeah.
Yeah, these are not what we're reading here. First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles. These Chronicles of the Kings of Israel and the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, those are separate books away from this.
So you don't think they
This is something else.
Not talking about the same Chronicles?
No, because it specifically says the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel and the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. Those are not these books here. So we don't know what happened to them, but these are not the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel and Judah. Actually, this was written by the scribes, right? But First and Second Chronicles were written by the priests. This is not what they're referring to here. Verse 10. In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah, began Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 16 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin, but he walked therein. And the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, and his might, wherewith he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? And Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat upon his throne, and Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elisha was fallen sick of his sickness, whereof he died. And Joash the king of Israel came down unto him, and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And Elisha said unto him, Take bow and arrows. And he took unto him bow and arrows. And he said to the king of Israel, Put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it. And Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands. And he said, Open the window eastward. And he opened it. Then Elisha said, Shoot. And he shot. And he said, The arrow of Yahweh's deliverance, and the arrow of deliverance from Syria, for thou shalt smite the Syrians of Aphek till thou have consumed them. And he said, take the arrows, and he took them, and he said unto the king of Israel, smite upon the ground, and he smote 3 times and stayed. And the man of Elohim was angry with him, and said, thou shouldst have smitten 5 or 6 times. Then had thou smitten Syria till thou had consumed it. Whereas now thou shalt smite Israel but 3. Smite Syria but 3. And Elisha died, and they buried him, and the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year. And it came to pass as they were burying a man, that behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. But Hazael, king of Syria, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. And Yahweh was gracious unto them, and had compassion on them, and had respect unto them, because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he would not destroy them, neither cast he them from his presence as yet. So Hazael, king of Syria, died, and Ben-Hadad his son reigned in his stead. And Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, took again out of the hand of Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz, his father, by war. 3 times did Joash beat him and recovered the cities of Israel. Let's see. Okay. Chapter 14, verse 1. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah. So we got 2 Joashes here. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jehoadan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, yet not like David his father. And he did according to all things as Joash his father did. Now, what was the law? I mean, the priest supposed to teach the law, right? Yeah, but what about keeping the law? He said he was a good king, but he wasn't as good as David was. Like, what if you're not keeping the law? What are you doing?
Yeah, because the king was supposed to have his own copy too, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, this is just question because the more we read this, the closer we are to the people. And so we kind of scratch our head on the thinking back in them days. Why did y'all do it that way? Yeah. Verse 4. Howbeit the high places were not taken away, as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense on the high places. And it came to pass, as soon as the kingdom was confirmed in his hand, that he slew his servants which had slain the king his father. But the children of the murderers he slew not, according unto that which is written in the book of the law of Moshe, wherein Yahweh commanded, saying, the father shall not be put to death of the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall be put to death for his own sin. And he slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000, and took Selah by war, and called the name of it Joktheel unto this day. So they did what was reading the law, but they didn't read the whole law. I'm looking at the kings that were prior to this king here. Apparently they didn't read the whole law. So you got a king here that does read the law. No, he's not supposed to take his vengeance out on the sons of the murderers. Verse 8. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, come, let us look one another in the face. And Jehoash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, the thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar, that was in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trode down the thistle. Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up. Go of this, and tarry at home. For why should thou meddle to thy hurt, that thou shouldest fall, even thou and Judah with thee? But Amaziah would not hear. Therefore Jehoash, king of Israel, went up, he and Amaziah, king of Judah, looked one another in the face at Bethshemesh, which belongeth to Judah. And Judah was put to the worst before Israel, for they fled every man to their tents. And Jehoash, the king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Bethshemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim unto the corner gate 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of Yahweh and in the treasures of the king's house and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did, and his might, and how he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoash slept with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam his son reigned in his stead. And Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Jehudah, lived after the death of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, 15 years. And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Now they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, but they sent after him to Lachish and slew him there. And he brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, began to reign in Samaria, and reigned 41 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. He restored the coast of Israel from the children entering of Hamath unto the sea of the plain, according to the word of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet which of Gath-hepher. But Yahweh saw the affliction of Israel, that it was very bitter, for there was not any shut up, nor any left, nor any helper for Israel. And Yahweh said not that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam, the son of Joash. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did, and his might, how he warred, and how he recovered Damascus, and Hamath, which belonged to Judah for Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his stead. Now it says here in verse 28, now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam and all that he did, and his might, how he warred, and how he recovered Damascus. That's another country. That's Syria. And Hamath, that's in Syria too, which belongs to Judah. Y'all don't supposed to have that. For Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So that just kind of caught my eye. Sometimes I stop and scratch my head at some of this stuff. How did Judah get these lands? And that wasn't even their land. Yahweh gave them exact boundaries of their land. And it didn't include Damascus, Syria, nor Hamath. So they're pretty talking about the Wild Wild West. That's the Wild Wild West back in the days. Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Oh, that's a pretty big chapter. I'll go for it. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, began Azariah, the son of Amaziah, king of Judah, to reign. 16 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jechaliah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that his father Amaziah had done, save that the high places were not removed. The people sacrificed and burnt incense still on the high places. And Yahweh smote the king so that he was a leper unto the day of his death, until the day of his death, and dwelt in the several house. And Jotham the king's son was over the house, judging the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Azariah slept with his fathers, and he buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, did Zechariah, the king, the son of Jeroboam, reign over Israel in Samaria 6 months. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, as his father had done. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Shalom, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him, and smote him before the people, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Zechariah, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. This was the word of Yahweh which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy son shall sit on the throne of Israel unto the 4th generation. And so it came to pass. So that's why he had him killed, because he was the 4th generation. Verse 13. Shalom the son of Jabesh began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah. And he reigned a full month in Samaria. For Menahem, the son of Gadi, went up from Tirzah, and came to Samaria, and smote Shalom, the son of Jabesh, in Samaria, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Shalom, and his conspiracy which he made, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Then Menahem smote Tifsah, and all that were therein, and the coast thereof from Tirzah, because they opened not to him. Therefore he smote it, and all the women therein that were with child he ripped up. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, began Menahem, the son of Gadi, to reign over Israel, and reigned 10 years in Samaria. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He departed not all his days from the sons of Jeroboam, from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Pul, the king of Assyria, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand. And Menahem exacted the money of Israel, even all the mighty men of wealth, of each man 50 shekels of silver, to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back, and stayed not there in the land. And the rest of the acts of Menahem, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah, his son, reigned in his stead. In the 50th year of Azariah, king of Yehudah, Pekahiah, the son of Menahem, began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 2 years. And he did that was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. But Pekah, the son of Remaliah, a captain of his, conspired against him, and smote him in Samaria, in the palace of the king's house, with Argob and Ariah, and with him 50 men of the Gileadites. And he killed him, and reigned in his room. And the rest of the acts of Pekahiah, and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, began to reign over Israel in Samaria and reigned 20 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, the king of Assyria, and took Ion and Abel Beth Maacah, and Yanoah and Kadesh and Hazor and Gilead and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and he carried them captive to Assyria. And Hoshea, the son of Elah, made a conspiracy against Pekah, the son of Remaliah, and smote him and slew him, and reigned in his stead in the 20th year of Jotham, the son of Uzziah. And the rest of the acts of Pekah, and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 2nd year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh. He did according to all that his father Uzziah had done, albeit the high places were not removed. And the people sacrificed and burned incense still in the high places. He built the higher gate of the house of Yahweh. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In those days Yahweh began to sin against Judah, Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father, and Ahaz, his son, reigned in his stead. I'm going to stop right there. Before we dismiss, does anyone have any questions? No questions? Okay. All right. That was, Kings. All right, let's see, let's see here. Let's see what's on chat. I got Brother Hodiah on Facebook at the top. Shalom, Brother Hodiah. Shalom, Brother Alahayim, Sister Malaka. Shalom, Kevin Birch. Shalom, Brother Abraham. Shalom, Elder Tobiah. Shalom, Sister Rachel by Israel. Shalom, Brother McAnderson. Shalom, Morning Crisp. Shalom, Terry Outlaw. Shalom, Neil Papi. Shalom, Brother Terry says, is cremation against the law? I see a lot of people practicing it for economic reasons. What say you? We're not the Lone Ranger in this. We've had issues with that too, so that there's nothing against cremating a Hebrew Israelite. Usually when an Israelite dies, they bury him the same day. But these funerals and these coffins cost an arm and a leg, and people cannot afford those coffins, those caskets. And so it's a little cheaper just go ahead and cremate them. But once you cremate them, you can't leave them in your house. You got to leave them at the grave site, I guess. But that we had that issue with that sister that came here one time, and she, I think she had a mother cremated, didn't she?
Mother and son.
And son, and had the ashes in the house. And when I found out about it, I said, y'all you can't come up here no more. Yeah. Yeah, Brother Terry, it's still, no matter how you die, what happens to the body, because it does turn back to dust. But we're looking at your resurrection here, right? What's going to happen with that if you cremate it? Well, when you die, your body returns to the dust that it's made from. So cremation ain't that much different than the dust. And besides that, that are going to be people that are going to be raised up out of the seas, that died in the sea. And so there ain't nothing left of them. So they're not going to have the same body anyway. So it really doesn't matter if you cremate them. Yeah, but you're right about that. It's because of economic reasons. That's why they're doing that. Shalom, Brother Eliyahu. Shalom, Brother Malachi. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis. Again, we appreciate y'all coming down, man. They will tell y'all about your wife's name is Kendra Davis, and there's a Kendra Davis on television, on Facebook, Crimson Cure. Y'all remember her? They call her Crimson Cure. And you think I'm hard on black women? She made my flesh crawl. Shalom, Elder Azariah. Shalom, Clarence Marks and Sister Yolita. Shalom, Avisha Judah. Shalom, MSC. Shalom, His Fire. Shalom, Cujo Goody. Shalom, Melinda Curry. Shalom, Racine Thompson. I haven't seen that name since elementary school. Shalom, Ezra ben Israel. Here's what I said. Matthew 23:18. Does gift mean animal sacrifices, or is Yahshua referring to money and things such as we read in 2 Kings 12:13? Well, let's look at that. Matthew 23. Let's see here. In 13, it says, "But woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees and hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for you need to." That ain't what you're talking about there, though. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong one. Somehow. Matthew 23:18. It says, "And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty." Now, he's talking about the animal sacrifices here. Because look at the sentence itself. It says, whoever shall swear by the altar. What does the altar do? It holds the animal sacrifices. So whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gift, the animal sacrifice that is upon it, he is guilty. He's bound by it. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the sacrifice, or the altar that sanctifies the sacrifice. So you have to continue on reading the rest of that. Whosoever therefore shall swear by the altar, swear by it, and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple, swear by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, swear by the throne of Elohim, and by him that sitteth thereon. But again, that word gift, it still means animal sacrifices. But you mentioned, 2 Kings 12 and 13, though. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. And the king answered, the 2 King, that's right. No, that might be the 1 King.
Yeah, 2 Kings 12:13.
Yeah. All right, let's see here, 12 and 13. Howbeit, there were not made for the house of Yahweh bowls of silver, snuffers, basins, trumpets, any vessels of gold, vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh. Is that what he said that? 2 Kings 12 and 13?
Yeah.
I don't see the relationship.
I guess the things that they were naming. So
Oh, you're talking about the thing that was in the temple
Yeah.
itself?
Mhm.
Okay, as opposed to Matthew?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, that was in the, that, it was listing the thing that went into the temple, but the Mashiach was telling you how you're supposed to act when you go to that temple. Let's see, brother Kevin Birch. Shalom to the elder and brothers. Elder, I have a question about 2 Kings chapter 13. Verse 14. Is his son talking to his dead father, a family spirit? 2 Kings 13 and 14. Now Elisha was fallen sick of sickness whereof he died. And Joash, the king of Israel, came down unto him and wept over his face and said, "Oh, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof." It's not really his father. It's just a term of endearment. It's showing him respect that he loved him as he loved a father. Now, if you go back to 2 Kings chapter 2, you're going to see the same thing. In 2 Kings chapter 2, I'll pick this up at verse 11. It says, "And it came to pass that they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it, and cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces." So you got Elisha saying it, and you got it said again in 2 Kings 13 and 14. All right, so it's just terms of endearment, that's all.
Elder, did that spirit ever, I guess it's not written, that spirit that was on Elisha? Because like I said, they put the man down in the grave and they just touched his bones and the brother came back alive.
Yeah, I meant to comment about that. That's that's a very powerful spirit that brother had on him. That residue of it stayed on him, even though we were dead.
Right.
And so that through a dead body now, and it affected them that much, they sprang back to life. So you got to wonder about that double portion of that Elijah's spirit. That was a very, very powerful portion, double portion. But
I think I would have kept him around.
the dude that
No, the bones.
the bones.
Take 'em
See,
from
that's why our father got in trouble, man. Having them bones, worshiping them bones, man. So that's why we here now. Brother Kevin Birch, again, it's just terms of endearment. Shalom, Brother Ezra. Elder, I spoke with a couple of Christian Gentiles today. They were trying to convince me that Paul read on the first day, which is why they keep Sunday. I'm sorry. Are they serious? That's why they go to church on Sunday, because Paul stood up to read. Well, what did Christ do on the Sabbath day?
Everybody know the Pope changed the Sabbath day. Pope, when was the Pope, when the Popes had changed it, made it
Actually, you think about Constantine, aren't you?
Constantine.
Yeah. But that's a poor excuse. I mean, they should show, who's that, Brother Ezra. I know you probably didn't have time, but you could have showed them where Paul kept the Sabbath day holy in Acts chapter 13, in Acts chapter 16, Acts chapter 17, and then Acts chapter 18. So what they're going to do, because you're going to take one verse and justify breaking Yahweh's law. So who are you going to follow? Paul of the Messiah, right? Well, Paul didn't die for your sins. It seemed to me they would look at what the Messiah did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to see that, Brother Ezra. And Shalom, Brother Alahayim. Shalom, Brother Obi. Shalom, Rashim. My mother's was cremated, and we keep her ashes in necklaces and her urn. What's the significance of keeping ashes? I don't know. I never had the experience. But with us, the children of Israel, it is still a dead body, and we're not supposed to be around a dead body and remain a holy people. So, best thing to do with those ashes is put it in a graveyard somewhere. Don't put it on your property, because that's what that sister did when I told her you're not getting the ashes out of the house. She put it in her backyard. Well, no. You got to find some place that to put them ashes, but don't let them stay in your house. Because you make your house unclean, makes you unclean. You cannot come around holy things when you're unclean. All right. I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds. Facebook, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Thank y'all for joining us, Facebook. Join us, sisters only class is 5th day, which is Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Also join us for our Sabbath service. It's coming Saturday at 1 o'clock. 1:30 or 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock.
You kick off at 1:30.
I better say 1. And we have a new moon service this Saturday after that sunset on Saturday also. So you might want to check us out then too. Thank y'all for joining us. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Shalom.